everybody. Just making sure that everything is working. We don't have any technical issues here with switching over to the live webcam. And it looks good. All right, awesome. So if you see any technical issues with the switch over, let me know and just fire it into the chat panel, and I'll make sure that I answer your questions. And I'm really looking forward to working with everybody that looks pretty excited to get started. So we're just going to hop into your questions. So as you see them come up, I'm going to be working through the ones that came in through the webinar. And then if you have questions as we're going through, we'll get into them. And again, thank you so much for spending your time. I realize that an hour and a half is a bit of a long time to be on a webinar, but I hope that you really enjoyed the content along with the case studies on how you can implement this in your business. So our first question is from Janet. Janet asks, is this just business to consumer? Does this also work for business to business? So that is a great question. And the answer is yes. Although there are certain tweaks that you have to do within the process in order to tailor it to a business style approach. So when you're going direct to consumer, when you're writing your ads and you're putting together your landing page and then your offer on the back end, obviously with a consumer, you're looking at the things that are going to solve the problem of the consumer. And obviously, most of the things that are going to solve that customer's problem is your product or your service or what it is that you have to offer. In the business-to-business world, it's similar, but you need to tweak your offer to make sure that you give value to the organization or the person or prospect that you're looking to essentially bring into the business. But the process of setting everything up, the targeting, the running the ads, the generating the lead on the actual lead generation page, and then the follow-up sequence on the back end, process-wise, it's the exact same. All you need to do is change the content of what you put within the process. And in the 6-week training course, I can take you through both styles of that during the Q&A and making sure that you target it properly. Here in my business, again, I run the exact same systems in my business, and I use it for both business to business and business to consumer, and it performs well on both sides. So that's a great question. Thank you for that. And again, if that's not entirely clear to you, go ahead and ask for clarification just by typing into the Q&A panel down there at the bottom. To Dale, welcome to the program. Looking forward to working with you. And here we go. Larry asks, what type of ads work best? So Larry, this is kind of an open-ended question. I'll answer it from a couple of angles, so hopefully that I answer the question that you had. So if you're talking about the network of advertisements, right now my favorite is Facebook. As far as being able to target a very specific person with a specific ad in a cost-effective way, Facebook is by far the leader in the marketplace right now. Costs on Google pay-per-click, we can still run funnels with a positive ROI, but we don't make as much as when we run them on Facebook because our cost per clicks are significantly less when we're running that traffic through Facebook. Twitter is another avenue where we're really starting to drive some good quality traffic, but it's just not to the point where Facebook is. I mean, their ability to retarget and really dial in on that specific person that you want to give your offer to is almost scary at points. So Facebook is definitely the area that I like to put the most of our advertising dollars in a monthly basis. Now, the other way to answer that question is what type of ads work. And when I'm writing the actual ads, they're all direct response. So they all have a call to action, and it's designed to get the person to click to go to the offer page. Now, there's another little bit of strategery, if we call it that, when we put our advertisements together on social networks, because there's so much traffic that you can tap into, and obviously you pay per click, right? So when we write the advertisements, part of what I'm doing is trying to repel the people that I don't want to click on the ad. And I do that by calling out the specific prospect that we're going after with the advertisement, so that I know that when somebody clicks on that ad, the likelihood of them being targeted and converting on the lead generation page is higher than it would normally be if we were just running a generic bland advertisement. So when I run my social ads, the ones that work best are the ones that are specifically targeted to the exact person that you want to target. So when you run that social advertising and you're doing your targeting, write the ad to that specific person. So we write ads specifically to males, and then we'll run another campaign that goes specifically to females, and it's different language. It's different because we know that audience is going to respond differently. So write the ads so that it repels the people that you don't want. It attracts only the specific people that you do want, and it has a direct call to action as far as click here, check this out, make sure that they actually click on the advertisement. And our top network right now is Facebook, where we're running our advertisements. So hopefully that answers your question. Just loading up here. So how does the report structure look? Okay, so the free report that we're giving away when the person opts in. So there are lots of different ways to create those free reports. And in the training, I take you through my 2 favorites. And so we'll get into that just a little bit here to give you kind of an advanced view of what we go into in depth in the training. The first report style, like you saw in the screenshots, was the top 10 things. And what that can be the top 3 things, top 5 things. The main pain points that your audience has are your top things. And so what you're doing is you're taking the objections essentially that the marketplace has doing business with you, and you're overcoming those objections as the bullet points. And it's kind of like a call and answer style report where, you know, the top 10 things that you can do to lose weight. We talk about the things that they need to do to actually lose the weight. So, you know, drinking more water, not eating the snack before bedtime. And the objections that people have to doing those things are, oh, well, I can't drink 8 glasses of water a day. So bullet point number 1 would be, you know, drink more water in a day. Make sure you get 8 glasses. You may be thinking 8 glasses is a lot of water during the day, but check this out. And then we overcome the objection that they can't do it, motivate them, and then show them the benefit to what happens afterwards, and then move on to the next bullet point. So by the time they're done the bullet points at the bottom, you've addressed all of their concerns that they have up front as to why they don't think they can do it. And by the end of the report, they go, you know what? I can do this. I can lose weight. And this is who's going to help me do it, because they're the ones that educated me on the fact that I can do this. For the gentleman that's on the webinar that's in the duct cleaning business, right? Again, you can take those things and say, okay, well, I don't want a duct cleaning guy to come to my house because it's going to be, you know, I don't want people tracking through my house. So your report would be, you know, how to prepare for people tracking through your house. And they say, well, actually, with our, you know, certified installer people, they come in and they put down mats and they wear the little booties, and just like we talked about on the webinar, right? You take the objection, you put it up front as a bullet point, and then you overcome the objection in the report. So that's one style, just the bullet points. The other is called the story of transformation. And in that report, it's not the top 3 things, it's learn how X did Y in Z. So learn how Susie lost 15 pounds in 90 days, you know, while her friends stood shocked, or whatever it is. And that is telling the story of somebody that has bought your product or service or gone through your product and service, and what their experience was like while going through the process. And essentially that free report is doing the same thing. It brings up the objections as to why that person didn't think they could get the result that they wanted, and then what you and your business did with them in order to help them achieve their goals. So in the running business, we've done this, and essentially the claim was that you could learn to run a 10-kilometer race, right? And a lot of people think, oh, I couldn't do that. So we tell the story of how somebody that, you know, worked a regular office job went through the steps of preparing themselves and then going in small little milestones, and then by the end of the day period, achieve the goal of running the 10-kilometer race, right? Walking people through the logical steps, and their brain has to be able to go, okay, that makes sense. If I did all of those steps that I just read in that story, I would be able to achieve the goal that I want at the end. And without believability, and it has to be a real story, right? You can't make stuff up. It has to be a real story of a real customer that has experienced your product and service and then gotten the result that they're looking for. And you're just conveying how that person did it so that the people coming behind see, oh, that person did it, I can do it too, and this is the company that's going to help me get there. So those are the two different types of reports that you can put together and that you can offer out there that have worked well for us in the past, and I guide you through on the 6-week training program. So our next question. What about Twitter for ads? We already kind of touched on that. Twitter is great, and we're starting to see great responses from it, but I am certainly more a fan of Facebook ads right now than I am of Twitter. Does this work for restaurants? So yes, this does work for restaurants, but again, in your particular situation, there are different tweaks that you can do to the process in order to get people in. Because I mean, you know, people aren't really going to respond, you know, the top 3 secrets to eating your breakfast, right? You know, come to our restaurant. That isn't as compelling as perhaps a gift certificate that you give out or a referral program that you run so that people that already come to your restaurant can refer their friends, have their friends come in and get, you know, a 2-for-1 meal or whatever it is. So in the restaurant business, we take the process and we layer over an immediate benefit to coming to the restaurant that's tied to some form of coupon or engagement process that will actually get them into the restaurant, experience the food. And then we make sure that everybody that comes in, we follow up with another coupon to get them to come back in. So in the restaurant business, as I'm sure you already know, if you can get somebody to actually enter the door and get in over 3 times, the likelihood of them becoming a lifetime customer in your restaurant goes up exponentially. So the process of giving them incentives to come into the restaurant more than 3 times, that's your ultimate goal. Get that person to walk through the door the 4th time, and then they're a customer for life, right? So it's the exact same process. You run social ads to people just in the targeted market of your restaurant, call them out with an awesome opportunity to come in and, you know, buy 1 plate, get 1 plate free, whatever it is that you're going to do. In order to get that, they have to opt in with their name, their email address, and their phone number. Your Constant Contact account automatically sends them the coupon that they print out and then they bring into the physical location. Then you can just take the coupons that you've got, check them against the database, and you can tell how many of the people that opted in for the free meal actually came into the restaurant, return them, and then you can calculate your ROI based on what you're spending on social advertising. So exact same process. Yes, absolutely, it works in the restaurant business. There's very few businesses that I have been able to find that that don't get the ability to get response from a system like this, which is pretty cool. So thank you for the question. That was a good one. All right. Next question. Will you build this for me? No. It's the short answer to that. I only have so many hours in the day, especially with a new young family in the house, and my consulting clients keep me very busy as it is right now, which is why we're doing the training program where I will step you through all of the steps and the process. So again, this is your opportunity to learn how to do it yourself, to get the skill set so that you have it for life and that you can convert more than one system, right? You can set it up, have it run effectively once, and then continue that as a life skill that you have in your life and in your business to continually reinvent the system, you know, because every year you can basically just like turn it back on, make a couple of tweaks, and away you go. Like I said, it's an asset that you build in your business for life, as is the list that you build while you're running the lead generation campaign. So it's not just a one-time pop of income that comes into your business. You can stay in touch using your Constant Contact account with those leads that you generate. So to go back to the example of the restaurant, that list, every time that you've got, it looks like it's going to be a slow Friday night or a slow Saturday night, just fire up your account and send out an email, 15% off meals tonight, or, we're having a special dinner for this, and you can run promotions. Then you send it to the list, people respond, come back, and you fill the restaurant, right? It becomes a list that you can kind of on demand hit and make sure that your restaurant is full on a regular basis, because of the relationship that you build with the people that ultimately become fans and then referral sources, right? So again, great question. And the only way to get access to me and the information is to go through the 6-week training program that we have at ccresults.com. So if you haven't already, head on over to www.ccresults.com and let's get started. All right. What else goes into your autoresponder system? So that is, from a long-term strategy perspective, ultimately tailored to your specific business. You own your business, and your business essentially is a reflection of you and your systems, right? So the autoresponders that we'll build for one client will be completely different than another. The first 4 emails that I stepped you through to send out are very important because they're built from a psychology standpoint of what's going to get people to convert. From that point, you need to work almost exclusively on just making sure that you build a relationship with that client and customer base. And my personal opinion that emails that speak from a person-to-person conversation perform a lot better and get a lot better engagement than brand X that sends out whatever the brand is talking about that month. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And when you're building your autoresponders, shine through. Tell people into the business why you're passionate about it. Convey your passion. I have so many people that come in and ask me follow-up questions about, how can I convert more of my list? And they're all focused on, obviously generating money and generating business, which is okay, right? We run a business to generate profits. But at the end of the day, you're helping people, and chances of the business that you're in because you're passionate about it. When you can convey the passion that you have for what it is that you do, you have a successful autoresponder sequence. The only thing that I would add to that is that you need to combine your passion with practical, real-world advice that will help people. Ultimately, our goal, if you want to bond with your audience, the more people that you help, the more your business will grow. It's just really that simple. So when you're putting together your autoresponders, talk about, in the restaurant business, talk about where you get your ingredients from and what your stand is on, potentially the food that you prepare and give to your customers, or the recipes that have been passed down from generation to generation and why you started the restaurant and how that's been in your family for X number of years. Tell the story of that entrepreneurial, passionate drive that you have that got you to where you are, and that will bond you to people. They don't want to just see, a name and a brand. They want to see the person business and get to know you, right? So I know you all know that, and that just makes sense, but it's always nice to be reminded every so often, right? Awesome content, awesome. Thank you very much. I'm very glad that you enjoyed it and attended and stayed to the end. I really appreciate it. Chris, what's the deal with Constant Contact? Any special promotion if I signed up today? So the question was, is there a promotion with a Constant Contact account if you sign up for one today? The answer to that is no. The pricing on Constant Contact is the pricing, but it is a phenomenal service, and I recommend it because it's easy to use and it does the job of setting up those autoresponders. And they've got some social automation tools in there as well. There's lots of stuff that that you can get into when you get into that. And their customer support is fantastic, which is always helpful for us in small business when we need answers quickly so that we can get things done. It's a great service. So that looks like the end of our Q&A today. So everybody, thank you very much for your questions. It's been absolutely a pleasure to be here with you today. For those of you that have signed up, I'm really looking forward to having you as part of the program, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. So again, thank you very much for your time from me and my family there. Much love, and I'll see you soon.